The Senate Judiciary Committee today approved Judge Amy Coney Barrett's U.S. Supreme Court nomination, setting up a vote by the full Senate next week. Some Democrats say the move should mean expanding the U.S. Supreme Court if Democrats take control of the White House and the Senate in November. Joe Biden has put off laying out his position on court packing. However, in a new 60 Minutes interview, which airs this Sunday, Biden says if he's elected, he will put together a national commission to study the court system and more.
And I will ask them to, over 180 days, come back to me with recommendations as to how to reform the court system, because it's getting out of whack. There's a number of alternatives that go well beyond packing. The last thing we need to do is turn the Supreme Court into just a political football. Whoever has the most votes gets whatever they want.
Power Panel now, host of the Guy Benson Show on Fox News Radio and Fox News contributor Guy Benson, and Jason Nichols, professor of African American Studies at the University of Maryland. Jason, Guy, welcome to the program. So, Jason, we're starting to hear a little bit from Joe Biden on court packing. Now he wants to study it for 180 days. What do you think?
I think it's a good move. I think, contrasted with President Trump, who doesn't listen to the intelligence community about intelligence, doesn't listen to diplomats about diplomacy, doesn't listen to generals about war. Joe Biden is saying he's going to listen to the experts. Now, some people are arguing for 18-year term limits for Supreme Court justices. Mm-hmm. To me, that makes a whole lot of sense for a lot of reasons. I think that if you have someone who is on their deathbed, they shouldn't be worried about the political implications of quitting their job. They should be with their families. Other people or other scholars are talking about rotating of the 180 federal appeals court judges and making it kind of a rotating deal with the Supreme Court. I think a lot of those alternatives need to be looked at, because what we saw with Merrick Garland and now with ACB is a disgrace. We're using this for politics instead of what the framers wanted it for. So I think that Joe Biden is saying we really need to look at judicial reform.
I want to give Guy a chance to jump in here. Guy?
Well, what's disgraceful is the Democrats' conduct when it comes to the court battles over the last 30 years, in which Democrats consistently at every turn have been the aggressors. Now they're losing, and all of a sudden we have to change all the rules and, quote unquote, reform the system. Joe Biden said things are out of whack. Nothing's out of whack. If he wants to balance the court, then perhaps he and the Democrats can win elections, and when there are vacancies, they can fill those vacancies. So I think this commission, you can look at it as a Rorschach test. Is it Joe Biden sort of punting the issue off into oblivion? It's sort of an old Washington trick. We'll study it and it'll sort of go away. It's polling terribly, by the way, court packing, nationwide, and also I've heard in some of these key battlegrounds, which is why so many Republican senators are trying to talk about it so much. The other way to look at it, though, potentially is that the Democrats want to engage in some radical, quote, reforms or court packing, and they want to add some sort of patina of legitimacy to it. So they'll put experts on a panel and say, well, let's reform the third branch of government. There's no crisis in the third branch of government. It's the most trusted branch of government among the American people right now. The American people, a majority, want Amy Coney Barrett to be confirmed. She will be on Monday. And Democrats, if they want to change things, they can win elections and fill vacancies if they arise.
Senator Graham today on court packing and Biden's answer.
If you're a Democrat, the people who want to pack the court will come after you if you say no. You need to believe them when they say they're going to expand the court, because they will. And what the Vice President Biden said today, I had no idea what he was trying to say. Thanks.
And this, just the last hour, Fox News asked Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer about court packing. And he said, quote unquote, everything is on the table when we get the majority. So, Jason, I have to think that the far left in your party really like that. The moderates not that crazy about it. And when you do poll, even Democrats say, some of them, they don't want to see court packing because it can be on the other side's foot and then you just have politics back and forth.
Well, again, that's why all of these options are being looked at, like a balanced court where you have, 5 Republicans, 5 Democrats, and 5 other justices who are chosen.
So is everything on the table? Do you like that from Senator Schumer?
I think that you look at the issue and let experts make recommendations, and then the commander-in-chief makes the final decision. I think that's what everyone is saying. And I don't know, maybe it's the anti-intellectual element that's in the right that's saying, no, we shouldn't do this. But to me, it's a no-brainer to listen to experts. But we know that this president in particular doesn't like to listen to experts, even when it means life and death for American citizens.
Wow, anti-intellectual. I have to let you respond quickly, Guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't put myself in that category, Professor. I would say that if Hillary Clinton had won the election 4 years ago, which she didn't, of course, and if the last 3 vacancies had been filled by her, I guarantee you we would not be hearing one word about reform or listening to the experts or new justices from the Democrats, because they'd be winning and getting the outcomes that they wanted. And I think what's happening here is very transparent. The American people understand it, which is why polling shows an overwhelming majority of Americans are opposed to court packing.
Gentlemen, coming up more, but for now, thank you. A Senate committee approving subpoenas for big tech chiefs. They want answers over the censoring of reporting on Joe Biden's son Hunter. We'll tell you what comes next.